Hi, nice to see you guys. If you don't know, my name is David. This is Declination, my YouTube channel. This is the first episode after the prologue, so welcome. One thing I noticed is there's not a lot of Americans here in New Zealand traveling, and it seems like, I don't know, like maybe Americans don't know that these sort of like work holiday travel things are available. I want to take some time today and talk about how to apply for a work holiday visa, how to get that visa, what you need to get started, what you need to get here or anywhere. I'm sure it's very similar in other countries.
Start it up.
Right now I want to talk about how to get a work holiday visa. I think not many people in America know that you can just go and you can work in New Zealand or Australia. I actually don't know the website, so let's just do a Google search and we'll see what comes up. Right, so working holiday visa. Now this website's really easy to use. Let's check it out. So eligibility, criteria, available schemes. You go down. You can click where you're from. I'm from the United States, so let's do that. Let's check criteria. You need identity. You have to have a passport. You need to be in good health. You can't come here looking for medical treatment. You can't be a criminal. You must be of good character. You must be 18 to 30. It says you must have a ticket to either leave New Zealand or enough money to buy one. So like I bought a one-way ticket, and you do have to have a certain amount saved up before you come. They personally didn't check for me, but they have the right to check your bank account. You just have to do it and get the visa and go do it. And once you have that visa, then you can start worrying about, okay, how much money do I need to save up? My plane ticket. Actually, I bought my plane ticket before I even had the visa. I just assumed I was going to get the visa, and I did. It all worked out. I got it maybe 6 months in advance, if that, not even 3-4 months in advance. Yeah, so you must have $4,200 New Zealand. All right, so yeah, so if you pick a day like 6 months in advance or a year in advance when you want to come to New Zealand, enough time to save up the money. So I picked mine like 4 months in advance, and in 4 months I was able to save up the money just because I knew that day was coming. I stopped going out. I stopped going out to eat. I stopped going out to drink. I picked one day a week to hang out with my friends, and it was cheap. I did everything as cheaply as possible because I knew I was leaving for New Zealand by a specific day. So let's get back to this list. Previous approval. You can only do this once. The working holiday visa. There are other visas. If you do want to stay in New Zealand longer, you can, but you have to be working. There's different criteria. It's no longer a work holiday visa. It turns into something else, something that I don't know, but I know people have done. Medical insurance. You do have to have health insurance. So I went through my car insurance company, and I found a health insurance plan is $250 for 6 months. It's just a travel insurance. So check process and fees. So the process to apply online, the application cost from the United States, $35 New Zealand. And the time frame within 27 days. So within less than a month, you'll find out if you're approved or you're not approved. This is all really straightforward. It's all right here on the website. What I do want to talk about is this login. This is the only issue I've ever had with the website. So you press this login, and then this top menu pops up, and you select from this list. And then you have to figure out which visa you're doing. So all the way at the very bottom, working holiday visa. And then I'm going to log in for you guys real quick. So this is just going to be your application, the status of your application. You can start your application without paying, which is nice. So you can fill everything out, and then when you're ready, you can just pay the fee, and then they'll start processing it. New Zealand honestly makes this process so easy. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't be able to do it. All right, so another thing that you need after you get your visa situation, once you get to New Zealand, you can't start working until you get a tax IRD number, and you need that number so you can pay taxes, and you get half of your taxes back after you leave if you apply for it. To get your tax IRD number, you have to go and get a bank account. And if you try to get a bank account in Auckland, it's going to be 30 days. 30 days to set up an appointment. It's probably best to just fly into Auckland and then go to another town. Go to whatever bank branch is closest to the hostel that you're staying in, set up an appointment. And there's so many people around here that are willing to help if you have any questions, and it's so easy to make friends that you're really not going to have an issue. So let's get back to the rest of it. I want to talk about the jobs here in New Zealand. My current job is to work on a kiwi orchard, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Like if you want to work in a restaurant, you can work in a restaurant. If you want to work in hospitality, jobs. There's tons of Facebook groups for you to find jobs. That's how I got this job. There's so many resources, and getting a job is so easy. It's not something you should be worried about. So different jobs have different benefits. So working at like a restaurant or something, like you can be in town, you can be close to the fun stuff, but you're kind of stuck there. They don't want you to work for less than 2 months, really. You can work as a bartender or something in Auckland for a month and then dip out, but really it's best if you intend to stay there for at least 2 months if you're going to work in a restaurant, because you know other people rely on you, and you have a certain number of shifts that have to be covered. So keep that in mind, that if you're qualified for anything in the United States, you can find that job here in New Zealand. Or I met a guy, he installs security cameras. So he was a professional security cam installation guy in the United States. He had his boss sign off a piece of paper that said he worked X amount of days as a security camera specialist, and then he came here in New Zealand and makes a lot more money than I make on this orchard. I think I make like $18 an hour. I chose farming. Hours are consistent and I can get a lot of hours. If I need a day off, it's no problem. I can just say, hey, I don't want to come in today, and I don't come in today. On top of that, I have accommodation, so I have to pay 150 New Zealand dollars a week. Yeah, it's really nice. I lucked out. I have a private room. There's so many different groups of people. Here, there's only 2 Americans. It's me and the person I'm traveling with, and everyone else is either French or German, and then there's like 2 Italian guys and then a couple Finnish. There's 70 people on the property, so there's a ton of people on the property. Like, how did I find work here in New Zealand? So I found work through Facebook groups. There's tons of backpacker Facebook groups, and that's anywhere you're going to travel, anywhere you're going to do a work holiday visa, there's going to be tons of Facebook groups. So it's really nice to join those. Join as many as you can, and tons of people are posting jobs up there. There's also, if you go to a hostel and just hang out with people, you go to the kitchen, eat dinner, say hi to the person next to you, and ask them what they do. And if they work at, like, I got offered 3 jobs just sitting at the hostel. None of them had accommodation, so I didn't take those, but it's really easy to find work. All right, so what is kiwi work like? I'm on the girling team. So with girling, you cut a ring around the bark of each vine. That when you cut a ring of bark around the base of the tree, it cannot deposit nutrients into the roots, so it makes the fruit grow larger. Besides girling, I've done thinning. Thinning is like, you just take all the small fruits, like if there's big clusters of kiwis, you just pull some of them out, and then when you pull those clusters out, the ones that are left grow bigger and bigger and bigger because there's more space for them to grow, and they're not struggling and competing as much for nutrients. There's like pruning or trimming. Trimming, I haven't done it on kiwi plants, but I've done it like apple trees and stuff, and it's what it sounds like. You prune the plant back. There's males and females here, so I know they've been having a lot of people trim the male plants back because they don't provide fruit, and right now it's the season not for reproduction but for harvesting is coming up, so they want to focus on the females. So I live at Martin House. I'm gonna show you guys Martin House. It's wild. I did a little walkthrough. It's kind of a shit show, honestly, but it's fun that way, in my opinion, and it doesn't bother me, like the crowded kitchen and like the dirty floors. So this working project has a lot of options for living. We can either live at this household. This household is the biggest. There's 70 people that live there, and it's crazy. When I say 70 people, I don't mean 70 people live in the house. I mean maybe 20 people live in the house. Lots of rooms, lots of bunk beds. There's only 2 private rooms, and somehow I lucked out and got one of them. But everyone else lives in their camper vans outside, just parked around the house. And like, there's so many just like great groups of people around here. I made a group of French friends. I tried to learn French when I was younger, so I get to practice with them, and it's a lot of fun. So hopefully by the time I leave here, my French is a little bit better. What else? The camper vans are cool because eventually I'm gonna get a van. I can see what some vans are like, what other vans are like. I'm limited by my budget. A lot of the vans here are a lot nicer than what I'll be able to afford. I could be living at a hostel, but hostels are a little more expensive. Or living at a farmhouse while you're farming makes the most sense to me. I'm not really close to anything nice and fun to do, which is honestly, it's good for me because I can just save all my money, because I'm in save money mode. I just want to earn enough that I can get a van and get going to the rest of New Zealand before it gets too cold. I might go do something fun for Christmas, but I'm not positive yet. We'll see. I've made some friends and I can get a ride to the orchards, no problem. And this property comes with a car. I can just hop in the car, take it down into town, go to the grocery store, do whatever I need to do. So besides this farmhouse, there's like smaller houses with maybe 10 people living there. None of them are available right now, but I'm probably just gonna stay here. I like being around this many people, but there are other options. Like if you're not comfortable with this many people, especially because hardly anyone speaks English, so I'm just struggling with French the whole time. And now even they say they don't speak English, but everyone speaks enough English that you can have fun and hang out. The parties here are fun. Like we're doing fire dancing the other day. I've never personally done fire dancing until like 2 nights ago, which was a lot of fun to do. And you only get that sort of thing here with this many people around. The smaller houses though, if you're not comfortable with this many strangers running through, there's no locks on anything, so it's all about trust here. There are smaller houses for this kind of work. Like, you don't have to live in a big crazy place like this. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you later.